We should focus now to cricket, and the Proteas will go into the T20 series against Ireland with some momentum after winning their last ODI against Afghanistan in Sharjah. But the 2-1 series loss did raise a few concerns, despite the fact that there were key players missing from the lineup. To chat more about the current state of the national team, we're joined by sports journalist Neil Manthorp. A very good afternoon. Welcome to Newzroom Afrika. Good to be chatting to you. South Africa gave fringe players an opportunity against Afghanistan. Do you think that was the right call for the series?
I think so, Vaylen. It is important to build depth. South Africa have relied on the same group of players for a number of years now. And as Coach Rob Walter says, you can't keep relying on the same players. You've got to give opportunities to other players. Of greater concern was just how poor they were, especially with the bat. Being bowled out for 106 and 134 in the first two games, losing by 177 runs to lose the series was frankly embarrassing. They were tough conditions, but you really have to be expecting a lot more from the next rung of players.
Can we write it all down to the conditions? Because the coach seemed to make a lot of what the conditions are like, really tough conditions. But are there bigger questions here? We know that the question around just how much cricket is being played domestically has been raised.
That's right. And it's expensive. It's the greatest line expense. First class cricket anyway is the greatest line expense for CSA. It costs them a lot of money to subsidise 15 franchises, 15 provinces playing cricket. But it's a different, it's the lack of continuity. It's very difficult for the national team, for Rob Walter and for the players. I mean, they're coming from all over the world, playing domestic T20 leagues all over the world. So they didn't have a great deal of preparation time. That's not an excuse. That's a reality of world cricket these days. But it was just poor. I mean, the greatest concern is that because they're not being badly coached. This is the second, as I say, the second tier of international players. They're not being badly coached. They probably are not playing enough high quality cricket. And it does beg the question, are they simply just not good enough? I mean, there's a lot of players who have actually been given a lot of opportunity. I'm not talking about like the guys like Jason Smith, who's only just been given an opportunity now in international cricket. But, you have to sort of wonder, like Tony de Zorzie's been around for a couple of years now, and he just hasn't been able to kick on and score the big runs that you need to win international cricket matches. So it was a concern. I just want to say that the fact that it was Afghanistan is a distraction, really. It was a really poor performance. Afghanistan have been a top tier team for a number of years now. So it's got nobody should be saying, oh, they lost to Afghanistan. They're a really good team. But I mean, if they'd lost in that manner to England, to Australia, to India, it would still have been embarrassing.
Yeah. So if you were at Cricket South Africa at the moment and you had to advise them, you mentioned that playing the domestic series and backing the domestic series is a huge expense for the National Federation. Would you say that if they are to be able to come good on their promise of perhaps winning a home World Cup, that's the only option to be able to give guys more top quality cricket?
Well, they're heading towards trying to play more SA team cricket, just below full international level. They're pushing for more international fixtures. I don't think we're going to get any more domestic cricket because it's just too expensive. And South African crowds aren't turning up to watch. And I mean, Rob Walter's got a 3-year plan towards the 2027 World Cup. And he's a methodical planner. He believes that it's not necessarily domestic cricket, certainly not Division 2 cricket, and in some cases not Division 1 cricket either. He believes that you need strength versus strength, more SAA games, more international fixtures, such as the one that's just been arranged against Afghanistan. I don't know whether that's the way forward. I mean, you've got to back Rob Walter. He's going to be the man to take South Africa to the 2027 World Cup. He's confident in his plan, and he did warn us. He did say that there would be some bumps along the way, and he didn't say we'll lose and we'll lose, but he's confident that he's got a plan, and we don't have any choice other than to back him.
The T20 series against Ireland gets underway on Friday. What are you expecting from that?
I'll be horrified if they lose. Ireland are a good team, but they are still effectively a Division Two team in the international world. But I don't know. I mean, they moved from Sharjah to Abu Dhabi, similar conditions. It's not going to be any cooler. It's still 38 degrees and 90% humidity. And if that was the problem, then they'll be up against it. Ireland have played quite a bit in the UAE, so they'll be acclimatized. I mean, I gotta believe that South Africa will win, and there's 3 ODIs after the the two T20s. But if you said to me that Ireland will win a game in both series, I wouldn't dispute that is a realistic possibility.
And then we've got that very important rematch of the two T20 World Cup finalists. So with India, that also comes at the back of this series in the UAE. Neil Manthorp, sports journalist, thanks so much for chatting to us here on Newzroom Afrika. Good to have you with us.